Hey traders, let's go over a few markets here before the close. I've been thinking a lot this weekend, and we need to kind of think about at least the market anticipating a little bit of a global economic shift, right? Kind of away from this growth slowing idea, maybe inflation accelerating. It's a little bit too early to tell in the bond market longer term. There's a lot of levels it can still hold down here, and we're so oversold, but it is interesting. I mean, just the fact that we look at the financials, they're leading the way now. I covered my S&Ps short today. Um, so the market's trying to communicate here a little bit of a shift, and whether that's the reality of the overall economy, but it doesn't really matter. It's more the perception, right, of the majority of the market. So I just got to trade it, is what it is. So here we are in the monthly level. This is S&Ps. I mean, this is a strong monthly close. We're right on the highs. Beginning of the year, we made a higher low. You held the TMS. Hasn't done anything wrong other than, the intermediate term started to roll over here in August. We were able to play that pretty well from the short side. But now look, you can see you're back above the 8 on the weekly. All right, the weekly cycle is still rising. Here's the daily level. You're above pi, you're above the 200. So just when you see this 30s rolling, as was the 4 hour, the 4 hour would look something right in here. And then sure enough, the market just took the whole everything Trump and just said it's bullish. So we have to go with that. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be short anymore above these highs. Looks like we're going to close above 21.91. So there's no reason for me to be core short. All right, so we took a little bit of a loss there. We made some okay money in the flush and then put it back out, and that didn't work. No real harm done there. We made some money in here, which then we just gave back, but that's kind of how it goes. So this may be a bigger picture. The other thing you got to think about is here we are in November. Last year, stock guys really don't want to see the markets down into end year, so they don't get paid on that. So we could squeeze this right into the end of the year. All right, now as far as the Dow, I went and doubled my long position here today along those same lines. So we were buying here, buying here. I got flat. Wanted to see how we reacted to that 2191 area in S&Ps, and now that you're through, I'm gonna, actually we got long the end of last week. We got flat here, got long again, then I just doubled my long. All right, so I'm planning to play long the Dow. I'm gonna stay leaning long relative to my short, the Russell, which it's I may pare this back a little bit. Here's the long-term regression channel. So gonna need some patience here. This is gonna be a longer-term position that I may take some risk off right now and just keep it a small short and try to work it if it rolls back over. We'll probably end up making more money in the Dow. So then when we get to places like this, we need to look at what sectors are working and what names we can play on the long side. So technology has been underperforming. It's kind of catching up now. But I don't really, if stocks start to break out, we shouldn't expect tech to stay down here for long, Amazon's already climbing back up. We missed buying down there. I mean, I'm a small core long. Facebook, I mean, all these names. We did buy some Apple and Google. Okay, so I want to play these from the long side. And then the financials have been playing those from the short side all year. Now, for the first time, I think I may need to go the other way. We've been more bearish European financials, but we've made good money here on the short side of financials. So I'm actually thinking about going the other way. We're very overbought right now, so I'm not going to necessarily do anything on the index. But I want to start looking at some of the names, maybe even some of the asset managers. The strong dollar, rising rates is good for some financials, not so good for multinationals. Um, we can start looking at some things like Schwab. I was trying to look at CME today. So there's a little bit of a shift there. I'm going to continue to do some research and do my homework on a few names. But Goldman Sachs might be one to get involved in on the long side. JP Morgan is pretty strong. I mean, these are all overbought. Now, the things I don't like would be at Wells Fargo. That they've had their issues. They're still making lower highs. I still like bearish CIBC. I did stop on my Royal Bank of Canada today, so I signaled that in the room. This was basing. Wasn't sure if we were going to roll over. Now it looks like we're breaking out. So that chart just does not look bearish to me. So we're gone. I mean, the first round we sold the high, covered, resold. Now you have to stop. So 1 for 1 on that trade. Or 1 for 2, however you want to call it. One winner, one loser. And then, some of these, I don't know, Synchrony Financial, we stopped here well when we went through Pi, didn't like that. Still short GM. There's a financial piece there with the autos that could be interesting. One of my more higher conviction short ideas is now that rates are rising and oil is still bearish with strong dollar, we can be more aggressive in high yield bonds. I'm waiting for this daily cycle to come up a little bit more, and on the 4-hour, this 4-hour cycle can come up a little higher, but we want to put, just like we should have been the seller here and more aggressive with the puts and covered into these lows, and we want to resell more up here into 86. So I like that one a lot. You could trade JNK also. All right, but you see how everything's rolling over? So I really like high yield on the short side. And then along with that, I guess I should have mentioned at the beginning, but we're through that resistance. I said last week, let's see how we close Friday, and then you close through all the major highs here. So give me one more week above, and you can start to think this is a longer term breakout. If we pop through and fall back into the middle here, that would be a tough trade for a lot of people. But that's not how you want to play this. You want to play that this is going to continue higher. All right, so we did resell some oil based on that. There's obviously a lot going on with OPEC. I don't want to get into that. I mean, I just usually want to fade those headlines. Those guys are going to be tough for them to agree on anything really. So we're short from about 48 now, a little bit underneath it. And again, you be a seller all the way back in here to 52, 53, or not 53, sorry, 50 to 52 would be the top of the range. There's still a good chance this is about halfway of the move down that you could see oil fail here. So anyways, rebuilding the core short. And then we've been making good money on the euro. This has really been where we've been getting our alpha lately. And we're oversold, but going to continue to trade that on the short side. Now, pound's been trading much better, and so you've seen me kind of stay away from, I haven't been trading pound yen very much. I did try to day trade from the short side a little bit here today. Unsuccessful. I mean, we're right back at these highs. It just seems like the market doesn't care, though. There's a lot of room back here to the 200 above the bands. So I am leaning short with a stop not too far above here. Kind of think I'm going to get taken out. Anyway, that's a small play, just a small edge there. Being above the bands, this can still go a lot higher. And then dollar yen came out of my long, and I'm just going to lean a little bit short here at pi. It's the right edge after coming this far, and see if we can maybe just make a little bit on the short side and then think long again, because this is bullish. So anyway, guys, lots to think about now, and the market has a big shift. Rates. Oh, and then the last thing is, if this dollar continues doing what it's doing, it's not going to be good for gold, right, or the precious metal markets. So it's just barely hanging on here at 1200. When I go to the weekly level, it just makes me think that this wants to collapse back into like 1100. So when you come down, this big bearish real money candle just should probably have more follow through. So I may just play a small long the gold miners and look to add down here longer term, and then just stay flat now. I'm just long a tiny bit of gold futures, and it's just, I mean, look at this. 4 hours clearly bearish. Oh, it is what it is there. Oh, pretty light on the metals. Anyhow, there'll be more to come on that. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to be hanging out with my girls and doing some family stuff, so I'll kind of be on and off mobile. But otherwise, I'll talk to you in the morning.